Assalamu alaikum, viewers. Today we have another amazing author with us. Her name is Wania, and she is the author of Campfire Blue book. Let's talk with her. Yeah, Campfire Blues is an illustrated poetry book. What was the inspiration behind the design, and who were the artists?
Campfire Blues has been a collaboration, right, of a team of incredibly talented young women. And these were our artists and our illustrators. I'm so proud of the work that they have done. Ushna Aman, Daneen Khan, Lareb Fareed. These were our illustrators and the masterminds behind the art that is present in the book. So how this
Mhm.
process worked was that me and my co-poet Tamjeed Hashmi, we would sit together and try to envision each poem, and then whatever images we would come to mind, we would discuss them and try to capture the essence of each poem within a picture. And then we captured our poetry this way, and then we would pitch our ideas to each other, discuss them, and then come out with a vague vision. And then we would present that vision to our artists and give them the creative liberty to take it forward of their own accord. So, our cover page designer Ushna Maan designed our cover page like that, and she did an exceptional job. Then there was Danin Khan, Are Fareed, who illustrated our poetry book, and that's how they came about with their inspirations. So it was a collaboration of each of our creativity, and we displayed the entire team of Campfire Blues displayed an amazing amount of dedication to the success of this book.
Mashallah, great. Okay, tell me, did you face any difficulties while completing your book?
I think that if you strive to do anything that's worthwhile, you are going to face difficulties. No
Yeah.
road is entirely smooth. Every road has speed breakers. But if you have your destination in mind, then you should just keep walking. And if one path is blocked, you try to find an alternative route. And if there is no alternative route, then you try to dig one out. You dig a tunnel out with your own passion and your own intelligence. So, of course, there were difficulties that we faced along the way. There were disappointments as well. But it was made a lot easier with having my co poet with me as well. It was a lot of support. We supported each other a lot through every single one of these phases and gave each other courage to keep moving forward. I think one of the biggest struggles we faced was that in Pakistan, especially, English poetry does not have a very vast audience. It's not that widely
Mhm.
read or recognized. So there was a lack of opportunity in that regard. There were a lack of resources as well, and but we believed in our vision of what we had for the book, and that is why it did not deter us, and we just kept moving forward. Academics was also a major point that we struggled with, because I was in my first year of my first and second year of pre-medical during the course of this book. And I was in college, so I had to struggle with, classes and exams, as well as the work that Campfire Blues required.
Yes. Right. Okay. What are the specific themes of Campfire Blues and how does it relate to your life?
The themes of Campfire Blues are love, longing, and loneliness. And I think it not only relates to my life, but it would relate to any individual
Hmm.
that struggles, or that is living their life to the best of their capabilities. And that is, these are the major themes that Campfire Blues revolves around. Um, I wrote a lot about growing up, because the age that I was writing this, I was from the age of 15 to the age of 17, right? And a lot of my poetry stems from that, from the struggles that I faced during my teenage years. Yeah, the sense of isolation that comes with growing up, or
Mhm.
outgrowing people and places that you have been familiar with all your life. So that sense of stepping into unknowns, experiencing new things for the first time, uh, stepping into adulthood in a way, into your late teens. I think that concept has been explored in my poetry a lot, and a lot of that exploration has a lot to do with myself, exploring myself as a person and every layer that makes me an individual. Another concept that we explored was feminism, because I think that rings very, very close to me and Tamjeed both. And we did our best to portray our ideas on paper in the form of our poetry.
Right. What is your inspiration for writing?
I think my inspiration for writing is not limited to specific things or specific people. I think it's anything that inspires me or that inspires life. Life or anything that inspires life. And when I say life, I don't mean just existence. I mean anything that you do with all your heart. Even if it's as simple as, drinking a cup of coffee or talking to your best friend or reading a poem by your favorite writer or author. I think all those things that make you feel more connected to yourself and to the world around you, those are the things that can give you the best inspiration. And as I said, I wrote about what I was feeling. So I wrote when I was 16, I wrote the way only a 16-year-old can write. I did not try to grasp for experiences that weren't there. I just took what I had, the highs and lows that my own limited life had at that moment, and I wrote about being 16, and I wrote about growing up. So I think that has been the major inspiration behind most of my poems. Just little experiences that I faced during my own life and my own daily happenings.
Right. Do you like choosing simple words or complicated ones in your poetry?
I think that each poem and each poet both define for themselves how they need to express. Every poem speaks to its own concept, right? And there are some poems that need to be defined with very short, simple, and meaningful words. And then there are some that require elaborate storytelling. There are some poems that call for metaphors, that call for details, that call for a very complex analysis of your own feelings. So I think that varies from poem to poem. There are some poems
Mhm.
that can be very simply written, and then there are some poems that require more detail and more complicated analogies in order to make sense of themselves.
Right. Okay, and let's talk about Dastan. What was the reason behind choosing Dastan, and how was your experience with Team Dastan?
I found Dastan to be very accommodating, uh, especially for young writers and young poets. I think that we live in a country where not a lot of opportunities are given to young writers. And what Dastan did was that it provided a platform for me to express myself as a young poet and granted me the opportunity to share my story with the world. So my experience in this regards was amazing. Mr. Umar Harar as well was very accommodating to to our vision and to what we envision
Mhm.
for Campfire Blues as well.
Right. What message you would like to give new authors and poets?
To young authors and poets, there's only a few things that
Mm-hmm.
I'll say. Number one, I'll just say keep reading. I think one of the most important things to do, especially today more than ever, is to read because it gives you food for thought. It allows you to think deeply, it allows you to express yourself as well. So, read
Mm-hmm.
and write. I will say that if you have it in you, if you have a desire to write, then just do it. Don't do it for the audience. Don't do it for the applause. Do it because there is something in you that calls you to write, that compels you to put your thoughts on paper. And that don't do it for the sake of anybody else. Do it because you want to do it, because something in you calls for it. And I'll say, okay, try new things, keep experimenting with different forms until you find something. And when you find something, do your best to refine it. So don't just limit yourself to one dimension. Keep exploring, keep exploring yourself and other forms of art until you find what's best for you, what works best for you, and then keep working on it and refining it and polishing it. Aim for the moon, and even if you miss, you're going to land among the stars, right? So don't be afraid to
Right.
dream big. Don't be afraid to dream big. do whatever you can in your limited resources, yeah, in your school, in your own circle, and keep dreaming big for the future.
Great. I like your message.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanya.
Thank
It's a
you so
pleasure
much for
meeting with
having me.
you.
Likewise.
Okay. Bye.
Hafiz.
Lafez.